Hello, I'm Paddy from creativemedia.org.uk, and we're staying somewhere where there is one of these Hotel Chocolat Velvetisers, which seems like a single-use gadget for making hot chocolate. Now, is this actually any better than simply using a whisk and a saucepan? Because I figure all this thing does is heats things up and mixes them. So I'm going to find this out. But first, a bit about this unit. It's a lovely coppery colour with a metal finish. I don't know if it actually is copper or just some kind of plating. So it looks quite stylish. It's got a nice grippy handle here, which is designed for pouring the thing out. It has a plastic lid with a silicone seal and a kind of smoked finish. So I guess you can see through a couple of holes in it. So I guess this could overflow potentially. And inside we have the spinny mechanism. Now this whole thing doesn't spin, but it has a spinny thing inside here, which spins around, I guess. And you can see in the middle there's no spindle. It works with magnetism, and also means it sticks in with magnetism, so when you're tipping a thing out, this mechanism stays in, which seems like a good idea. And the base here is pretty much like you get on a cordless kettle. Just sits on there. And can it sit at any angle? Yes, it can. So you can turn it round to a position that suits. And on the side there's an on-off button. So let's give it a go. For my chocolate I'm going to be using a twirl bar because it's kind of all sort of swirled up. I've had flake bars recommended as the best thing to use, but we couldn't find one of those, so we're having to try twirl bars. I'd much prefer to use something that didn't have all this plastic packaging, ideally a fair trade chocolate with some foil and paper, which could be recycled, but we wanted to give it a kind of fair test and try something that might be easy to melt. So twirl it is. For the milk we've ended up with this oat drink, they call it, so going to see how that works out, but with chocolate in should be okay, even though it's milk chocolate, which rather defeats the object of using oat milk. I have got the pan on over here, and I've got the Velvetiser about to start, and I'm going to drop in a piece of twirl bar and see what happens. First, well, the Velvetiser is very quiet, and I can see stuff whirling around in there. I better put the lid on in a moment though. And the same for the pan. And I'll have to do a bit of whisking on the pan to have the same effect. I found it's kind of stuck a bit, the chocolate has stuck a bit on the bottom, so I've had to mix it in a bit more as well as whisking it. But it does seem to have dissolved fairly well. The Velvetiser, on the other hand, has just done its thing and turned itself off. So I actually turned it on again and did the same thing again just in case it hadn't dissolved. So I've really no idea how this is going to come out. It comes with a special mug as well with a designer, Andrew Wick's designer. So I'll just tip that out and see what we get. Should all fit in. Yeah, the bottom of the Velvetiser looks fairly clean. There's a tiny bit of chocolate stuck in there, but we'll cope with that one way or another. And I'll tip out the pan version as well. Still a few bits of chocolate stuck in there. These are both the same amount of milk and the same amount of chocolate. You can probably see from the picture, the Velvetiser one has a lot paler colour, even though it's got the same amount of chocolate in. The pan one is brown, no foam going on there. I'm guessing there's some foam on this one? Not really any foam, no. Okay, now the all-important taste test. We've got the saucepan version here and the Velvetiser version here, and they're looking really marked different colours. So I'm here with Super Taster Amanda, as ever.
I don't actually like hot chocolate.
You don't like hot chocolate, but I don't know if that will be a good taste or not really. I'm just going to drink a bit from the mug.
Very sweet. It is a nice texture. It's like very foamy.
Yeah, I mean, the oat milk isn't mega sweet, but I mean the Velvetiser is not going to make it any sweeter.
This one's got like a the other one's developed a skin.
Yeah, it's kind of gone cloudy, hasn't it? Really.
So the other one tastes like camping
smooth.
hot chocolate, like when you go camping and make hot chocolate.
Mhm. Okay, I'm going to try some of this too. This is a bit
and it's
hotter.
got that kind of boiled milk taste as well. Whereas the Velvetiser doesn't have the boiled milk taste.
I'd be hard pressed to tell the difference, I think, but
I think the Velvetiser has a nicer texture, but I do wonder whether it needs more chocolate because it.
yeah, I think
Although
it
it's
could
had
have
a whole.
had more chocolate.
See, it had a whole chocolate bar in it. Like a
It had
chocolate bar.
a small twirl, kind of that kind of length twirl. So
I
it's
don't know how many grams that is. 16 grams of chocolate in
17. Yeah. Yeah, so the Velvetiser one certainly looks better. I don't know if you can quite see that on the camera, but this looks quite cloudy. And Amanda thinks it tastes better. I'm not sure if I can tell.
I think the textures, it doesn't have that. The other one has the boiled milk, the kind of heated milk.
Yeah, I mean, this one's hotter because it's been in the pan. It didn't actually boil, but it got quite hot. Whereas this one probably gets it to the optimum temperature, and it's a good hot chocolate. A lot of hot chocolate's made too cold, but this tastes kind of right.
I think maybe if you did about twice as much chocolate or dark chocolate. I think we haven't used the proper hotel chocolate stuff. We've just we couldn't even find flakes. We just used what we could find.
Yeah.
So it's not really a proper test, is it?
And aside from that, the Velvetiser is easy to clean. I thought it would be one of those gadgets that's just a pain to clean and not really worth using. It's easy to use. It takes up quite a small footprint in a kitchen. So I think I would recommend a Velvetiser. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to buy one myself, but maybe if I saw one in a charity shop, I might consider it if it was cheap. But I'm not going to buy a brand new one.
I'm going to see what. I think this would be nicer just by itself.
Probably yes. Because you don't like hot chocolate.
I would rather just have a glass of oat milk and that
Yeah.
than either of them.
Maybe I would as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and that's all about the Velvetiser. I've just rerun it with a bit more chocolate in, and I had to keep restarting it because I think it stops when it reaches a certain temperature. So I just kept pressing the button until it actually managed to dissolve all the chocolate with its mixing thing. And yeah, it's a lot nicer and nice and thick and pretty good. Still very sweet, but I think that's really down to the twirled chocolate. If you put in a darker chocolate, it'd probably take a lot longer to mix up. So maybe not with such dark chocolates, because you'd have to keep pressing the button to mix it. Enjoy your chocolate.